everyone. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. This is A Life Well Spent. My name is Kelly, and on this channel, I'm documenting my financial journey. Today is Wednesday, April 10th, and today we're going to do a week one transactions wrap up. All right, so let's get into it. This is the first week of the month. For those of you who don't know, I do a zero-based budget, but in the first week, I have kind of all of my bills and everything, all of my like required money moves and things like that. They're all set up to go within the first week of the month. I just prefer it that way. And I do that by when I close out my budget, I make sure that I have a month's worth of income in my budget or in my bank account to start the next month with. So on March 31st, I went through and any money I have more than a month's income, which if you have seen my April video, you know I made a change to my HSA contributions. So I wasn't quite sure what that was going to look like. So I kind of guesstimated $3,500. So I had a little bit over that. So I ended up just kind of moving that somewhere. And what I would typically do if I end up having less and I pull money from savings or wherever I need to pull it from so that I'm starting with that amount. Because again, like I'm doing a zero-based budget. So I have a plan for every dollar that's coming in. So that's just the easiest way for me to just square all of that in my head. I really cannot be bothered with playing the game of like, well, I'll wait to pay this off until I get paid and then I'll have enough money in my account, and like playing that game back and forth. I just can't be bothered to do it. So this is how I do it. It seems to be working for me. Essentially, like everything gets paid out in the first week, and if I don't get paid in the first week, then I'll get paid in the second week of the month, and all of the money just kind of gets replenished basically. Um, but I start the month with it there, so I never really have to worry about it. So, the first thing that comes out of my bank account every month is my mortgage, 688.77. That is for the actual mortgage payment, the principal payment. It is the interest, it's PMI, taxes, insurance, all of that. I get that escrowed. Which I was trying to remember why I did that, and I want to say that I got like a better interest rate if I did it that way. But I do realize, like, you're basically giving the bank extra money that they can make money off of rather than you making money off of and paying it, but, you know, I don't know, probably in the long run, it was worth the extra, like, half a percentage point or whatever it was. Anyway, gas, 104.85, that's starting to come down because there were a couple of cold weeks in March, but it was um a fairly mild month. So the way that I guess realistically, I could have called this March's bill, but since I pay it in April, it's for March's usage, but I consider it April's bill because that's when I pay it. Sewer 63, that's a flat rate. Water 18.98, that's a flat rate ish. I've talked about this before. It's really strange. Like there's a minimum amount of usage and a minimum amount of payment. So like if I spent all month away from my house and never used a drop of water, I would still get charged that. So um, I hardly ever go over it, so I'm not even really sure what the actual, like, minimum gallon usage is, um, and I don't know that I have any old ones. I usually get rid of them at the end of the year, or at least at the end of a year of living for me, which I bought my house in July, so once I get the new July one, I kinda throw out from the year before, so I don't know that I have any that were really that much over that I could see, like, how much is the minimum usage, and I could probably look it up on their website. I just haven't bothered. Electric, 46.15. That's about what it's going to be. It might get up to about $60 depending on how hot it is this summer and how much I am needing to use my air conditioning. Internet, $58. That actually ended up being a little bit less, but that's what I paid because I didn't realize when I changed my plan, they were gonna prorate some things, so I actually now have, like, a credit of, like, $4 and something, so next month, I'm gonna have to just make that adjustment, so we'll see how that goes. Fidelity, I put $500 in my Roth IRA. I just have an auto draft every month that comes out, and again, it comes out the 1st of the month because the money is already there, like, I could set it and forget it. $70.83 to my brokerage account. I've said this before, but I realized between my HSA contributions and my Roth IRA contributions, if I max them out every year, which I intend to do, I'm putting almost $1,000 a month into investments for my future. So I just added the $70.83 to make it an even 1,000. So, Fidelity, $100 is for my niece's brokerage account. So I put $50 in, my mother puts $50 in. All of that comes out on the first of the month. On the first of the month, my mother also gives me $20 that goes towards our phones. We have a shared cell plan, and I'm just the one who pays it. $50 she also sends me. We have them kind of separated out so that in case we have to make changes to something, we know what's where, which is silly. Like, yes, she could just send me one transaction, but we prefer them to be separate. So $50, there's the money for my niece's brokerage. $40.72 went out to pay for my gym membership, which is kind of expensive for sure. It's the Y, and I go there basically for the pool, and that's that. My mother gives me $35 for our shared subscriptions. We have a couple of services that we share, and $35 is her portion of that. The next transaction really is just me transferring that over to the account that I hold all the money for subscriptions so that they get paid out. So that's just transferring that over to the sinking fund. My life insurance, $7.50. And I actually just learned some things about that. I was listening to a Susie Orman podcast, and someone had written in, there was like a divorce. There was a really bitter divorce, and the woman ended up dying, like not because of the divorce, but like within, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years. I don't even know if it was even that long. But suffice it to say, never changed the beneficiary on her life insurance policy. And the woman's mother wrote in saying, like, there is no way there's no way my daughter would want him to have this money. And I want to say they may have even have had kids, and she would have preferred it go to the kids, and maybe like kids with a different father, like maybe got remarried. And I don't even really remember the whole specifics. But suffice it to say, the insurance policy was going to the ex-husband instead of, her, who she wanted to be her beneficiaries. And it was just one of those things, like, there's really nothing you can do. Um, but that got me thinking, I really need to make sure that my ex-husband is still not on my insurance policy, because I was thought about it and I was like, yeah, I feel like I got it kind of around the time we got married. So maybe he is on that. Man, I better go make that change, which, first of all, I have the draft coming out $7.50 to my savings account, and then they just pull it out of my savings account because it's somehow through my bank. And I actually thought it was a term life insurance policy. It turns out it's really just like an accidental death and dismemberment thing. Um, so I don't know. I may end up getting rid of it. And I also found out that it's $7.50 a quarter. It's not even monthly. So I guess I'm just putting $7.50 into my savings account. 2 out of those 3 months. Which is fine. I feel like it's not a lot of money for the year. Um, And now I'm in that position where I feel like if I take it away, I'm gonna end up in an accident and need it, and wish I'd had it. So it's not much. It only pays out like 25,000 or something like that, but who knows? So I've got to make some decisions there about what I want to do with that anyway. Okay, 299 to Apple. That's for my iCloud account, which I'm getting to the point where that's getting full. So my options are up it to 1099 or 999 maybe to like a terabyte, but I don't really want to do that. Like, I would maybe pay $10 a year or something, but or $20 a year, but like 299 I feel like is a lot, and so to up that to like 10 or 11.99 is kind of insane. So I need to go back through and get rid of stuff I don't need, because I'm sure there's like tons of memes screenshotted and whatnot, and like there's a lot I could get rid of, I'm sure. Um, I also send out on usually the third or fourth of every month, the things that are my must save money to my sinking funds. That is $17 to Nittany Lion Club. I just pay that out once a year, so I put a little bit aside every month. My subscriptions right now are sitting at $155 a month. I'm actually going to have to make a change, but I'm going to wait until the end of the calendar year for that, to see like what changes I'm going to need to make, because we've decided that's kind of what we've been doing in the past between my mother and I. Like 35 of that um is from my mother, but I think that we've canceled a bunch of, sorry, I have an alarm set to, I have to make a phone call. So it's reminding me. Um we have a um we've decided to like cut through and cut off a lot of our subscriptions and things like that. So I'm not sure that what the actual like monthly amount is going to be for that, but as of right now, I'm keeping it like worst case scenario. I have some extra money I can roll over into something else, so I'm not really super worried about it. Car insurance, $59. I pay that out in February and in August, so I just kind of set the money aside so I have that ready to pay out in full. Um, and then on the 7th, I paid my cell phone bill. It ended up being 36.54. I put money over into my clothing fund. I think I did a Transfer Tuesday video last week on this, because this meant my clothing fund was completely topped off. It has the $500 in it that I wanted to put in it. And that only leaves my travel sinking fund and my emergency fund as far as like savings goals for the year, which is pretty exciting. I went to the grocery store to buy some food. It's 21.97. I got some stuff at Walmart, 51.65. I just threw this under miscellaneous because honestly, it's a bunch of different things. I used a gift card for some of it, for $25 worth of it, which was great. I ended up getting like some stuff for an Easter basket for my niece. We went out to visit her. Um, I got some stuff that I would like essentially eventually use for camping and hiking and stuff like that. So it's kind of like a weird combination of things. I didn't really want to put it all under gift or, what have you. So that's where we're at right now. Used $25 of a gift card, so I cleared that one out. I've said that before. I have a bajillion refund gift card things that I'm trying to use up so I don't lose them. My issue kind of has always been like with this, I got a refund for something, I don't know, and now there's no more AC Moore, so I can't use it. But even like if you give me a gift card, like people give me a gift card for my birthday or Christmas, and a lot of times I'm like, this is free money and I can spend it on anything I want. And then I go to, like, buy something, and I look at it, and I'm like, "Ugh, I don't know if I wanna spend my free money on that. That's not special enough," you know? I don't know. And then I end up, like, hoarding gift cards, so trying to use them. Um, I finished off Sam's gift card. I think the same thing. I think I ended up returning something, and I ended up had a lot on this gift card. And I could only use it like a little bit at a time because I don't necessarily buy tons of things at Sam's, and unless it's like time to be stocking up on like toilet paper and paper towels and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I go weekly because I get my salads there. They make these like salad kit things. They're all delicious, but the Southwest is phenomenal. There's a kale mix that's really good. There's the Southwest, and then the other one was like cheddar ranch or something, which is good, but it's a dollar more than the others. The kale and the Southwest ones are like 2.98 or 2.97 or something. And so like this little $3 bag is like that's a dinner salad for me. Like that's my lunch with some chicken. So I usually spend like 30 or $40 a month a week at Sam's, like getting those salads, I get the pre-grilled chicken, just yeah, it would be less to buy the other stuff and make it myself, but this takes me no time. And I usually get like raspberries, blueberries, and strawberries, but lately they haven't been super great. So that week I didn't get them at all. Actually, I think I ended up getting them somewhere else. But the total amount spent at Sam's was 15.80 or 58.87. 15.27 of that was the gift card. I finally got to use that completely, but basically that was a Sam's trip. I think I bought like some chips to take with me on a trip, and some of it was like food for the trip. I think I got something for my niece too. Like we got her this little like Easter baskety thing that was super on sale because it was after Easter, which was very handy. And then I got gas, $39.44. My Garmin InReach has a yearly subscription fee of 34.95, so I paid that. It's so stupid because, like, it's 34.95 for me to even be able to use the thing, and then on top of that, when I want to use it, it's like 14.95 for the month. Like, I still haven't even turned it on this month because I haven't gone anywhere yet. So, it's obnoxiously expensive, I think, but it does include like, a lot of things to make me feel better about being out in the wilderness and make my mother feel better about me being out in the wilderness by myself, so suck it up and do it. I got paid $1,822.64. So it looks like those will be my paychecks for the rest of the fiscal year because I work in a government type job, and I our contract years are July 1st to June 30th. So come June 30th, I will either get a raise or not. Um, and then there will be a change starting with my first pay in July. Rakuten, I got my Rakuten deposit. That was $11.29. I think everybody at this point knows what Rakuten is. It's where, like, if you buy things that anything really that they have any kind of deal with, like, you go to a website and, you install a little, like, browser extension, or you go to Rakuten and then click from Rakuten. The browser extension is easier. So, like, you go to someplace like Lowe's and the, like, extension will flash and be like, "Hey, load this through Rakuten." And basically they're doing, like, data collection on you. So if you don't really mind that, they have deals with different sites, and you can get like 2% back here or 1% back here or whatever, and they pay you out quarterly. And so that's basically what I got paid out quarterly. I try to do that. So at least, like, if it's something I'm gonna buy, like, you can't think of it as like, "Oh, this is free money, so I'll just spend more money to get free money." You have to really be careful and make sure that, like, you're only buying things that you need to be buying anyway. I don't even remember what I bought this, but there it is. Let me see. So I actually am gonna go through the 8th of April instead of stopping at the 7th because um I spent this past weekend in Erie for the eclipse, and it was phenomenal. Um I might be turning into an umber because being in a place of, like, 100% totality was, like, the coolest thing. It was so stinking cool. So, anyway, my mother and I took a trip out there. My niece lives out that direction somewhat, so we picked her up, took her with us, whatever. And so some of the money is entertaining money, and it's this and it's that. Now, it's not a complete I hesitated on whether or not to even do this video because it's not a complete roundup of all the expenditures. My mother and I are splitting the cost, but this is what I have, like, paid myself out of pocket, and then basically I'll deduct my totals from, she is definitely paid for more because she paid for the hotel room. So I will owe her some money. But when we do that, like, we'll square up at some point. So, I bought all the gas because right now, on my Discover card, I have 5% cash back on gas from, like, April to June or whatever this quarter, and my mother's cash back is only 3%, so we said I would buy all the gas. And I did not wanna put this under gas, I wanted to put this under travel because that's what my travel sinking fund is supposed to be for, right? So, got gas, $38.69, got gas again, $35.53. We just kind of gassed up. I ended up getting gas, like, we kind of filled up like a half a tank at a time, basically. Like, we made a stop to get food at this Marathon petrol station, and we were at that point where it was like, well, we don't quite have enough to get there, so we're gonna have to gas up, and we've already stopped once. We might as well just gas here. So that's kind of what we did on the way home. We didn't want to get stuck with gas, so we filled up before we left, even though there was a half a tank of gas. We expected there was going to be a lot of traffic, and there was. Took us 8 hours to get home, and normally takes us four. Um, so anyway, that was again just like another half a tank. And sheets, we got like halfway home, we made a stop to kind of stretch our legs, and we went, well, might as well gas up. Dairy Queen, we stopped there on Friday to get food. My mother and I kind of split a meal. And then I had a thing on my Dairy Queen app that was like buy a Blizzard, get a Blizzard free sort of thing. So we did that. That was $15.45. I bought 2 sodas out of the soda machine, because my niece wanted one and my mother was thirsty and nobody bothered to bring any water. Um, I spent $5.94 at Walmart because we went swimming at Splash Lagoon all day and my eyes were burning, so I got myself eye drops. I did put that under kind of miscellaneous because I'm gonna use that otherwise. Splash Lagoon, I just kind of had the quickest access to my wallet while we were at Splash Lagoon. We ended up eating there, which we knew was gonna happen because we were gonna be spending, like, 7 hours there, and you weren't allowed to bring food in, although sure looks like everybody brought food in. Pretty irritated about that, actually. Round 1 is, like, this gaming place, this little arcade, so my niece wanted to go and play some games in the arcade, so I bought her, like, a little card that was, like, $2 to activate, and then she got $6 worth of gameplay, which was not a lot of gameplay, let me tell you. And then we got some food at the food court, at the mall while we were waiting. We ended up watching the eclipse from the mall parking lot, because it was really close to the highway, and we figured that was the easiest, like, way to scoot out. And so we watched or we went to Dunkin', like, I just wanted to get a tea because I was kinda dragging, I wanted some caffeine, and so, yeah, so we did that, and I paid with, the gift cards that I loaded on my phone ages ago. Well, ages, like, a couple weeks ago. Because again, all of the gift cards. So, yeah. So those are pretty much my expenses. That covers, all the way up through the trip, but again, my mother paid for, we had dinner and breakfast out. We had 3 breakfasts out, and we had 1 dinner plus the hotel. So she's gonna total that up. We're gonna subtract what I've paid, and then I'll pay her out the rest. I know that our hotel, um, the night Sunday night into Monday was like 300 some dollars, and, like, right there, that easily covers what I've paid. So, I'm definitely gonna owe her some things, and I will probably just update that with my transactions for next week when that comes around. Okay, those are my transactions for the first week of April. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.